Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on data validation in Excel. Let's start with why we use data validation. Data validation is very useful for controlling data input. For example, if you're trying to collect data on customers, you may want to control what they can enter for, say, the states, or their zip codes, their phone numbers, etc. Little things like that will help to keep your data cleaner. And it's important to have cleaner data. Some of your options are obviously any value. You can restrict to whole numbers, decimals, a list of options, a date, a time. You could restrict what can be placed in the cell if it's going to be text to a length, or you can create your own custom option. When you're working in data validation, some of your choices include creating error messages, whether they are simply alerts to warn somebody that the data they're typing in is not what is expected, or an alert to actually stop them from keeping the data there. You can also use input messages to help users enter the data in the format you would like it entered in. A further restricting method is to create actual drop-down list where users simply select an option from the drop-down list. As you can see, I have open Excel spreadsheet, and here I have set up a customer data entry area. So here in customer name, I probably am not going to put much in the way of data validation here other than perhaps to enter in a message. So I go to the data ribbon, select data validation, and I'm going to just put in an input message. Here I'm going to indicate the format. So I might put something like format to use. And here a message that will indicate to my users that I want them to use mixed case when entering. Now, I'm not going to set any other restrictions or use an error alert. This just means when you land on the cell, you get an example to use to enter your data. Street name, I could do the same type of thing again. I'm just going to enter some basic data for now. City, I could do a similar type of thing. State, however, I would like to further restrict. So I am going to use a drop-down list. So I'm still on my data ribbon. I go to data validation. Under settings, I need to select list. Source, I could actually simply type them in and separate them by a comma, but I'm going to instead use an actual set of data I already have typed in, and I've used a defined name on this. So you can see when I select it, it comes up as equal state defined name area. Here I would put a message, and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to skip error messages. Now all I need to do is find my state. I'm currently in Arkansas, and type that in. These are coming in as all caps because my data was entered that way. For my zip code, I've indicated in the label that I want it to be the 5-digit. I don't expect my customers to provide a 9-digit zip code. So I'm simply going to the data ribbon, select data validation, and here I'm going to restrict this to a text length that needs to be less than or equal to, let's see, 5 digits. Here I'm going to put in my input message, and again I could include additional information that I want to display, and I could create an error message if necessary. Now I can type in my zip code. Here you can see I've already entered some data validation for my phone number. So let me show you what I've done. I've restricted the text, and I'm storing it as text to 12. That allows me to put in not just the numbers but also dashes to separate. Here's my input message where I'm showing that I want them to enter their phone number in the following format, with XXX representing the area code and the numbers representing the 7-digit phone number. All of these I'm going to add in here. Separate with a dash. And then I have an error alert in here, warning if somebody doesn't enter in enough numbers that they have actually not put in a complete accurate phone number, and it will prompt them on that. For example, if I put in 870-230-500, it gives me an error message now because I didn't put in a complete number. Now, since I got this error message, I'm going to simply click No. Now I can either retype the entire number or simply double click and edit the number. Now I have an accurate phone number. So those are just some of the ways to use data validation in Excel.